help them avoid bad experiences with men they're going on dates with, or men they've already been in relationships with. And while I can definitely see this app could be used for good, I can also see, wow, this app could also be used for harassment. But unfortunately, the thing is that there's no accountability. This is the problem with this kind of stuff, is that you have girls that say stuff like this, and they have no obligation to tell the truth. They have no obligation to, accurately describe what happened.
Sam, we have arrived. Let us put the Sentinel artifact with you.
I trust your approach, and I appreciate the long second. Though you may find Total Hall remains somewhat ineffective. Hurry! We have so much to do, and it's lonely down here.
Patience, Sam. The team is busy schmoozing with the locals.
Another one splattered.
And other women on the site will share their experiences and share whether the man is potentially good or bad person, using the terms red flag or green flag.
It's not gambling, I'm playing the odds.
People hate people complain.
Yeah, knew I could count on you, Box.
Bonus points.
Ready to dazzle a born skeptic by creating life out of thin air?
Indeed, I am, Herr Doctor. But our team must still compete for final arrangement.
Double points.
Time that it happens is when it's like some girl that had like revenge porn, right? Like, okay, sure, revenge porn is bad, but like, why don't we look at why are there massive databases on the internet where you can look up anybody's phone number based off of their name? Like, what real benefit does it, like, this is obviously just something that's going to be used for harassment 99% of the time.
So, like, why is there even a business model for this to begin with? And so, and this is true with the dresses and everything like that, Yellow Pages. But what I'm saying is that Yellow Pages and the phone book, like, we're not in 1995 anymore. The world has changed, and in the same way that you did, I don't know, did you need a driver's license if you were riding a horse back in the day? I don't know if you did, but I certainly know you need one now. And as the world changes and it evolves, I think that so too should the laws and the regulations. So no, you didn't exactly, and so that's what I'm saying is that data is money exactly, and that's why the government needs to regulate the amount of privacy violations that people experience on a daily basis. And I think that one main thing that they need to do is they need to change one fundamental paradigm. Right now, almost all privacy issues on the internet are opt out. All privacy, all invasions of privacy, you should have to opt into rather than opt out of. So the default should be that you're not on these lists. And if you want to choose to be on the list, that's fine, but that's your option. This is called common sense. Yeah, and so that's really the issue. GDPR does this? No, I know you guys in the EU do it better. You do. You do it better. We don't do, like, you guys fuck around with migration, migrants. Like, you guys have big problems with that. But you don't have problems with this. And I wish that you guys would do what Trump is doing with the migrants, and I wish we could do what you're doing with laws and the internet. That's the way I feel.
Posting about men could lead to false accusations and even doxing. There's also been a bunch of TikToks that suggest that someone may have ended their lives because of this app. But we found no information to actually verify that this is true. We just have a bunch of...
It's undeniable that on a long enough timeline, a person that's being defamed and attacked on a social media app will kill themselves over it. It's just inevitable. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's the social media app's fault. But at the same time, I think that apps need to, especially whenever you're talking about creating real-world consequences for people in ways that violate their privacy, I think that that's really whenever you're running into the big moral, ethical problems.
TikTok's talking about knowing of men that did that because of this app. And honestly, if you have an app that's designed to anonymously trash talk people, it's not super far-fetched that would happen.
But of course, that's what it's made for.
You can see how this is two-sided, because you have one side that says, yeah, this is good, this potentially stops terrible men ruining women's lives. But then you also have to realize that no, it doesn't.
It just doesn't. Like, it's not even true.
There's this other side that points out that men are having their photos and information posted online without their consent, and that can lead to harassment because there's no guarantee that the information being shared about this man is even true.
It's the classic argument of what if men had an app where they took non-consenting women, they talked about how ugly they were, they talked about how many people they slept with, don't ever consider this person as a
It's called 4chan.
partner, they slept with 5 other people or something like that, right? And they called them psychos on this app, etc., that made up stories about it.
Yes.
Obviously, instantly would be banned, wiped off the face of the earth.
Exactly. I think people are very frustrated, and we're very frustrated about the double standard with this.
The most misogynistic app ever, etc., and obviously, it doesn't make it okay when women do it either.
But this isn't even half of it, because as I mentioned previously, the app reached #1 on the App Store. And well, only a few days later, they experienced a massive data breach in which 72,000 images, including driver's license and faces of the early users from 2023 to 2024, those images, they were scraped off the web and just dumped onto 4chan. And the media referred to this as a massive hack.
Hackers gained access to 72,000 photos, including users' self.
Hacking is anything that is accessing information that you're not supposed to access. But the reality is that you know that there's a difference between hacking, having a data breach, social engineering, and just very bad coding. This is an example of very bad coding.
Selfies and photo IDs. T's parent company says more than 4 million women use the app.
But from the information we've seen online, it doesn't seem like this was the case. It doesn't even look like a hack happened. It looked like it was just built so poorly that any random person could access all of this private information. This app might have actually been vibe coded. So, for the people who don't know what vibe coded is, it means the app was coded using AI and that there was no real professional development whatsoever. Now, do we have proof of that? No. But, according to the internet, it seems poor.
Well, They will have proof of it. If he's got 5 lawsuits going on, I think they're going to find proof one way or another pretty fucking fast.
Made.
Because they're going to figure out how it was designed.
So I have
Obviously.
no idea, or I would not be able to identify if it's
Yeah.
poorly made or not. But I'm just going off of what the internet is saying now. But it seems like they made no effort to ensure the safety of their users and made a simple drag and drop hack. One of the original 4chan users who dumped the database had this to say: if you sent TAP your face and driver's license, they doxed you publicly. No
Man.
authentication, no nothing. It's a public bucket. And if that went over your head, a public bucket, put simply, just means
Just like a
public
database.
online storage. Meaning all your information was literally just sitting there for anyone to find. So calling this a hack is kind of laughable because it was already
Stolen valor. It's not a hack.
just sitting there. Anyone could grab it.
This is not a hack. And for a lot of people that were looking into this, they had found that, yes, by putting in that URL, you absolutely could find attachment files.
The only thing the 4chan user did was
Insane.
make a script that downloads all the images and data from the public cloud
What a
storage.
surprise.
So obviously this is a massive issue when it comes to security and
My favorite
privacy. So
engineer,
with that, it's
I heard
fairly
about that.
obvious that the media went absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
With even some news coverage defending the app developers, saying this couldn't be helped, and with privacy laws being almost
Be a penny, pick it up. All day long you'll have a penny.
Arming Semtex. I might like that better than shooting. Cat in the CPU.
Max armor.
Fucking imagination. It's actually true.
strict here in the U.S. It seems like this narrative has been pushed that like it was a hack and it wasn't a lack of developer oversight.
This whole app is a GDPR nightmare, which is one of the reasons why I think it's only in the United States as of now. If this was an issue in like Europe or Canada, where privacy laws, at least in Europe, are a lot more strict, this would absolutely put the developers of this application in the crosshairs.
But putting the media and narrative aside, the internet wasn't happy. An app designed to promote safety to women literally made women unsafe. And what's even more crazy is the information leak can be used to commit various types of identity fraud. People
Absolutely.
could realistically use this information to sign up to crypto sites, gambling sites, all
Yep.
sorts of stuff, the KYC. Like, this is a nightmare. It's like a very real worry you have to have. If your information was leaked in this, you actually have to worry about people registering and signing up for crypto exchanges and withdrawing money from your name. And of course, to make things even worse, 4chan even went as far to use driver's licenses that have been leaked to create a searchable match.
Now you have two components. That is better than one.
do you call this, young lady? Wait, what? I mean, hello, good of you to join me. What's that? Oh yes, well done. Extra credit for you.
Sweet. Let's go hunting.
So it's not only, their names, it's
A little flat. Pop, pop.
Bonus points.
Semtex primed. Where were you when I was writing my dissertation?
Double points.
We can extract you now. I checked the rotor shaft and skids myself.
year was 2013. The summer of July. No responsibilities, just time for a brand new zombies map in the peak of Black Ops 2's golden era.
Bailey to Exfil pilot. LZ is marked. Come get us.
Exfil requested speed. Call your ass. Stop. The pilot now. You don't need a pilot manual to know that we cannot land in a sea of reanimated hostiles. You can find us at the extraction point. Co-pilot Schroeder out.
Now that's a summer cut.
Everyone on board. Don't worry. My stomach stays settled at the moment. Everything is too amazing that you always manage to survive. So, where to next? Somewhere nice with me.
History, with two of them being exclusive to Varied itself. The ray gun Mark II was introduced in Varied, and was everything the OG ray gun wished it was, offering great damage increases, accuracy, ammo, and most importantly, removing the splash damage that made the ray gun so dangerous in the previous maps. This would not remain exclusive to Varied, but it was a must-have for players on the map. However, it was Varied's two exclusive wonder weapons that had the biggest effect on easing the map's difficulty. The Paralyzer was the crown jewel of this map, taking the form of everything Transit's jet gun wished it was. It didn't need to be crafted and built like the jet gun. It couldn't break like the jet gun. It could be pack-a-punch, unlike the jet gun, and it enabled movement tech that the jet gun could only dream of, which became especially useful in one area of Varied. With these two wonder weapons, it really seemed as if Treyarch considered the failures of previous wonder weapons and sought to fix them with revised models. The final wonder weapon was the most controversial one ever made, the Time Bomb. This damn wonder grenade was so broken because of its core functionality that allowed users to rewind the entire game back to the point in which they placed the Time Bomb. You could be on round 31, at the end of the fantastic Easter egg we will be getting into later in the video. And then your teammate could sneeze, slip, and hit the Time Bomb button to bring you back to round 1. If used as intended, the Time Bomb could be pretty useful at making the game easier, allowing teams to revert from sticky situations and game-ending downs. However, it was never used like this for most teams, and mostly just made for funny Time Bomb trolling online.
Yes, I got ray gun number 2! Man, I was about to get it again. Spoonie was the frickin'... Oh my god. You shouldn't have said that. He used his time bomb so we could go back in time. When someone got a ray gun. Yeah.
This rightfully never made a
any of the reasons above. Its removal from future entries to the Zombies franchise was because of its contribution to the most fundamentally broken and difficult easing feature of this map, the bank. The bank had made previous appearances in the previous two Victus maps, but its most prolific impact was on Buried, and players could use time bombs to glitch the bank and deposit hundreds of thousands of points with relative ease. Gamer subs, Christmas sale. Ever been easier? My favorites always included the woman in black in the house. This was actually the inventor of the iconic Pack-a-Punch, Jebediah Brown's mother. She was, in his moment of weakness, dug up from her grave and put into Pack-a-Punch itself, turning her into this ghost lady. She was unlocked in our game by Leroy bulldozing into her fence, and was really spooky to younger Evan, as once you entered her house and ran through it, she would attack at full speed. But once you got past her and her point grabbing, she would actually reward you with a free perk. Another free perk could be obtained with a ballistic knife in the bar. By shooting it at the dartboard, she would begin to play a tune. And if you went to the basement of her house, she would be seen playing the same tune on the piano. And you could give her a tip for a free perk. That's not to say you were completely invincible on this map, though. Between the holes in the tight, narrow caves making you near death on the fall, the narrow pathing in the map's design not really allowing for trains, and the confusing layout of the hedge maze, which changed every time you entered it. But these small flickers of difficulty were quickly mitigated when you realized that the paralyzer allowed you to fly over the doors of the hedge maze. And training wasn't necessary when everyone just sat in the most OP camping spot of all time, next to Juggernog. For those who really still can't comprehend the ease of Buried, and the one keyboard warrior who will comment that it's harder than Die Rise, you could literally have a Pack-a-Punch Ray Gun Mark II, Pack-a-Punch Paralyzer, another Pack-a-Punch weapon of your choice, 7 perks, and 3 buildables built all before round 1 had even finished. And if that doesn't make it the easiest map of all time, I don't know what will. However, there is something that is difficult on this map. As a send-off to Treyarch in his last map as director of Zombies, Jimmy Zielinski put a lot of effort into stepping up the Buried Easter egg. To me, this map is often cited as easy and fun, but only one of those remains true for its Easter egg. And as the Zombies community would come to find out, the Easter egg main quest is also often cited as the toughest of the Zielinski era. By this point in Zombies, we've seen Easter eggs that span days, others that were solved in mere hours, and unfortunately some that came with some cheating controversy. This one was no different in the controversial department, but thankfully the community was quick not to regard the cheating team from taking glory. Play the Game Central was the subject of controversy in Mob of the Dead for having leaked information and steps of the Easter egg at his disposal before the map had even been released. They were posting the world's first completion while everyone else was early into the map, and refused to post the steps / a guide right away. Ben from PTG even made it a point to only share information with YouTubers who treated him kindly. With that being said, PTG was first to Buried, but as Mr. Waffles explained when I asked him about it,
PTG had a reputation, right, that meant that people were skeptical of them at the best of times. And so for them to come out and just have endings of Easter eggs, it didn't seem particularly believable to anybody. And especially, you're just going to post the very end. You're not going to post the build-up, right? You're not going to stream you solving it. You're not going to discover it in step with the community, which completely detached from everyone else. Then that's sus, right? Even to this very day, in the Easter eggs, the difference between the first team and the second team getting it is minutes, usually. Occasionally we get into some hours territory between team 1 and team 2, but that's pretty rare, right? Because everyone, more or less,
talk ocean pizza, we encountered J, where, as you know, Victus had both BritTalkIt and Hackit restored. The main feature that we discussed was oversizing playlists enough that will...
Welcome to Colton Hall. I trust your journey was uneventful?
Well, I almost stitched Vex's mouth shut, but otherwise, I only thought it was worth dragging the Sentinel artifact halfway around the globe.
Hurry! We have so much to do, and it's lonely down here.
Patience, Sam. The team is busy schmoozing with the locals.
I heard that one. Weapon Gachapon? Cool. I'm in. Hell yeah. I sure as shit know what to do with you.
Aslan!
Ready to dazzle a born
Aslan!
by creating life out of thin air?
Indeed, I am, Herr Doctor. But our team must still complete the final arrangements.
What? The real mystery is how they cram it all in there. This thing could kill on safe.
What are you doing?
Tear them to pieces! Max ammo!
Is this box nailed down? 'Cause I have an idea. Yes, sir. I know a fucking force multiplier when I see one.
Discovered to go like this. A time bomb placed in the keys needle takes you to a paradox, an infinity round, where zombies don't die. In fact, the players needed funky bombs so they didn't die almost instantly. The goal here was to find 4 bodies of the players themselves out of 13 potential spots where you were looking for a single switch for the guillotine. This was easily the hardest step to do out of the entire Easter egg both sides included, since you had very little retries. and it was very easy to die from zombies that didn't die, and seemingly kept spawning. Even finding a body didn't mean you found the switch, and if you went down with the switch, it would fall off the player, causing so much confusion if somebody went down in that time. There was also added frustration that the Easter egg would sometimes soft lock, as the switch would just fall through the map instead of falling on the ground. You could tell the team at Treyarch really wanted the masters of the Easter egg community to do this. After this step, and we're going to stick with Richtofen for this, the next one was going to the maze and flipping the levers in the correct order, since it changed per game. In fact, some of the maze even changed every time you walked in. And the final step was one of contention for a world's first completion. This step was called Sharpshooter, and it was some Old West target practice. Interacting with the wish fountain outside of the candy shop brought targets around the town. The community basically agreed that the chalk by PDW was your best friend for this one. And the goal was to not miss a single target from all 4 players. But I always remember that one friend that would just say, yeah, I'm done, and then you'd have to reset anyway. Clearing all of these would reward teams with the achievement, Mind Games. You would also get all perma-perks and this dialogue. But with this achievement unlocked, that didn't mean there wasn't a true ending. But before we do that, we should talk about the canon ending for Ludwig Maxis. Maxis didn't have players going back in time, but instead a whole nother puzzle itself. This was called the Bell Puzzle, and to say that it's a trial and error puzzle is an understatement. Essentially, players are put in different positions around the map, and they have to ring bells corresponding to one player reading a light cord in the mansion. This step was frustrating, mostly due to players in these rooms and coordinating the lights of the bells in each one. Now, I won't lie, this one is easier than Richtofen's step, but this one was more dependent on communication, so it was definitely difficult in a different kind of way, making both scientists actually have some intrigue to do their Easter egg. Once the players rang these bells with the help of Mr. Galaxy's guide on the topic, the sharpshooter step was up again, the one that he called very annoying in his video. This video also has an extremely 2013 ad for zombies. Just please have it.
And this app is called the Ultimate Utility app for Roblox. This app will be so helpful, and it's really helped me out in terms of after I've played zombies and I want to jump into multiplayer, I'm not too sure what guns to go for, what perks, especially when there's new maps. I'm not too sure about the layouts and where like domination flags are or best parts of maps are. Then this is a fantastic app.
This step, just like Richtofen's Infinite Round step, was a big difficulty jump for Easter eggs. Varied had trained its players to become akin to ease throughout its tiny layout, but having trial and error puzzles for each scientist showed that this Easter egg brought up more team coordination and difficulty than anything the Victus crew had seen previously. So now that both scientists' Easter eggs were out of the way, players began to wonder what the hell this box with all the lights in the courthouse was all about. Well, as each map had progressed, we have discussed a nav card and a nav table. This was built on each Victus map, including Barry. With each nav card inserted and each scientist's Easter egg completed, players were making progress to the true ending. I spoke to Mr. Rockawaffles as he was the world's first legit completion on Barry's Easter egg, with Richtofen, alongside his teammates Liam Winter, Nick That Gaming Show not using leaked intel, Zombie Frenzy, and Saggy Berries, with Liam helping from the outside while the team was subbing in. On the world's first, Milo had this to say.
Buried was wild because I actually started the map late, personally, so I was at college when it came out, and so I was seeing the first couple of steps starting to be solved while I was still at college. Then I rushed home. I was like, I can't wait any longer. I've just got to get home here. Rushed home, jumped in with my team, and started doing things like, for example, we solved the cipher that you used during the Easter egg, and I have a video about that, which feels very dated at this point. We got in this really awkward position where
What we're in right now is the worst state COD Zombies has ever been in. Or at least that's what I've seen online almost every single day for the past month. But is this really the case, and why are people even saying this in the first place? Well, if I had to describe Black Ops 6 Zombies, it would be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. There's some absolutely iconic returning elements and game-changing new features, but they're just always seemingly paired alongside something that's just downright disappointing. So today, we're looking at the good, the bad, and most importantly, the one small event that completely changed the legacy of Black Ops 6 Zombies, all to show why those who hate the game and those who love it are both kind of right. Now, we're starting things off by setting the clock back to Season 3 launch. Like I said, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And Season 3's launch had some of the best content we've seen in years. We started things off with the new map Shattered Veil, and an OG classic-style quest with cryptic puzzles, a decent difficulty, and an actual challenging, awesome boss fight. There was a bunch of stuff to discover and do within the map. There was great visuals. There was actual story development happening within the cutscenes. We finally got a new special round that was such a nice change of pace. And they somehow also fixed one of the biggest issues with the game, that being boss spam. And it's what I and many others believe to be the best map ever released during this new modern era. But it wasn't just that. We got Double Tap back. This is something we've been waiting for almost a decade. It made certain weapon classes like marksman rifles, snipers, pistols, and hell, even some SMGs and ARs just so much more fun to use. We had some actual cool new guns added, with tactical diffusion being one of the best guns I think we may have ever had. It's one of the most common you get, but it's so incredibly powerful, and it's genuinely a really fun gun to use. And the other one we got, Support Group, it's fine. Not the best, not the worst either. We also got a new mode with Team Cranked. It felt like an actual decent evolution of the Cranked game mode, and this had a focus on high rounds, actually giving you gobble gums as a reward for getting to those rounds. And I know this is less of a feature and more of a glitch, but there was also something that popped up that allowed us to use Slipstream and Close Shave in Zombies, effectively giving us the option to have classic knifing or the ability to have no tag sprint in Zombies. And playing with either of these made the mode just feel so much more fun. But of course, it all couldn't just be good. We also took some steps back, with Shattered Veil actually lacking pretty heavily in the Easter egg department, and this severely hurt the map's replayability for a lot of people. In Double Tap, while fun, it wasn't necessarily really balanced, making some of the older boss fights insanely easy. You know that cool glitch that I was talking about that gave us features we've been asking for the entirety of this game? Yeah, they patched that. And you know that new cool mode, Team Cranked? Yeah, that was in the game for maybe a few weeks. And the season before, I called this out with the previous version of Crank being an LTM, and I got so much shit from it. People saying, oh god, it's gonna stay in the game, it's coming back next season. But yeah, it came back for like 3 weeks, and now it's been gone ever since. It's like it's still a problem. An LTM means the mode, good or bad, will be removed. That sucks. And honestly, no one should be defending this. Even the previous COD multiplayer director agrees that this is a horrible practice. Alright, there's some stinky stuff here, but don't get worried. We've got a mid-season update that is on the way to make up for some of those shortcomings. And actually, with the mid-season, we saw some pretty cool stuff. We got the Ray Gun Mark II added to all the maps. And this retroactively makes everything in the game really, really fun again to experience with that new weapon. It makes maps that have heavy boss spam feel a lot more playable. And there's also finally now a reason to hit the box. And we also saw a surprise update to Shattered Veil's worst Easter egg, making it actually really, really good. And while they're still not the best overall, this definitely helps make up for things a little bit. Then, of course, we take a step back. One of the biggest critiques of Shattered Veil that was never addressed was the lack of a unique equipment side Easter egg. And you know what? Maybe they just didn't have enough time or resources, guys. Yeah, except for the fact that we then got a Chaos bundle added to the shop with the homunculus there. Literally, the one piece of Chaos equipment that was on every single map in the box. But no, instead of adding it to the map, it is just a thing that you pay for in the shop for an emote. I know everybody wanted the Ether Blade from MWC for this, but this was literally added into the game just in the shop. And then we had a Gobblegum update, taking the cooldown from 5 minutes to 10 seconds. And this change made me hate the Gobblegum system in this game even more. We already spawned with 3 of these, and then now there's literally 0 risk and reward here with the machine. It's just you get what you want. You can quite literally have exactly the Gobblegums that you want at all times throughout the entirety of your match. BO3 already solved this issue with being able to respin during a round by spending points. That's all you had to do. And hey, we had a new score streak, the Death Machine. And yeah, it's just another score streak we had in Cold War Zombies, and it doesn't really fill any niche that wasn't already done by the Hand Cannon, or the War Machine, or the Mutant Injection. I love the Death Machine. It is a staple of COD Zombies, but this is something that should have been there at launch. And speaking of which, the new Specialist. It's Frost Blast. This is just downright stupid. It's just like the Death Machine, there is no gameplay scenario that this now fills. It's just something that literally all the other ones that we already have do anything this could do, but better. If you want protection, use Ether Shroud. If you want to kill stuff, use like an Energy Mine or something. And the worst part is it's Frost Blast. You know, the field upgrade that was in Cold War's launch 5 years ago, and then Vanguard Zombies launch, and then MWZ,
and now here in Black Ops 6, not at launch, but being drip-fed to us in the 3rd season of content. And while Crank might be gone, we got a new game mode for you here, Zombie Snacks. And if this were one of those shitty YouTube short ranking videos, I'd be playing the clip of my boy Dwayne saying, "It's the biggest piece of dog shit." Yeah, we got a corporate crossover event with Joe Rogan. Cool. You have to, like, eat food and shit, I guess. I don't know, you get, like, a damage boost from it. But to the average player, this shit was ass. And even with that said, I still think it should stay in the game. What's the point in putting all these resources into a mode like this just to remove it? And yeah, all of this was on top of an update that once again broke the game and made the mystery box practically unusable for weeks, as you could only get a certain handful of guns from the box, making those like me who are supposed to just not use the loadout system if we don't like it, make the game far less enjoyable for weeks. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel, guys. Season 4 is coming, and it's going to save us with a brand new map and pick up right where things left off. And yeah, towards the end of Season 3, we quickly realized that we were not getting a new map for Season 4, which is honestly fine. We've gotten one every single season. We can take a gap. Because hey, you know we're going to be getting one with Season 5 and Season 6 then, so no worries. But what would we get? Well, Trev dropped this bad boy on Twitter.
Everything's got a price.
Read this back. With it now being Sam versus Rick Coffin, having these new objectives here to spice things up, 11 map variations compared to the 3 we had in Black Ops 2, and it's not even an LTM, but a permanent game mode. They look to be a slam dunk. And aside from Greek, we also got news that we were finally getting a random operator feature, which is so nice. We can finally randomize our crew operator. This is way too late. It should have been there at launch, but it's better late than never. And we also learned we were getting 2 new modes. One was kind of like a beefed up abomination, and the other being one of the most requested modes we've ever asked for in the history of COD Zombies, a starting room challenge. If you've been around for a while, you know ever since the days of like Black Ops 1, we have been begging for something like this to be added to the game, and it's finally here. Even without a new map, this season seemed to be really, really solid. But hey, this is Black Ops 6 Zombies, so there's always, and I mean always, and this is where we once again take a step
Such a relief. You're alive and well. Sorry, I could not arrange a more welcoming reception.
Yep, this place is a real fixer-upper.
Talking in a video that was exciting to have private matches and you could play with his friend in an 8-player game zombies. Playing this game early will enter the impression that this was going to be.
How's that for a party fighter?
Everyone grew up with this mode, net, yeah, had our mind on stuff. You know, 4 weeks with all
This is a large property. Where exactly should we take the artifact?
My quantum processing unit is underground. Find a way down to my mainframe chamber.
This one's mine. Get your own.
Max armor.
I'll tell you the same thing I told my ex during my last UTI.
How
It'd be real nice if you could save screwing for another day. Great. More mystic puzzles, yeah? Fuck me dead. Have fun. Still haven't wrapped my noggin around what we're using to gas up the Sentinel thing.
They call it prima materia. That's some bullshit alchemy term. We need something more scientific. Heck particles. A nice ring, don't you think?
Spit out a fresh meat pie? Are you joking? Damn thing will wig on a game of ring toss.
Zombies just feels like it's crumbling. You got reactive armor from Juggernaut. You got unlimited 2x Ether Shrouds. You got Scorch Streak iframes, 3 Dying Wish Quick Revive uses, 3 Self Revives, Gobblegums like anywhere but here, Shields up. You even start with a Perkaholic. And that's not even taking into account this stuff that your team can use like Tame Ether Shroud, Healing Aura, Phoenix Up, Nowhere But There, Near Death Experience. You just could not die. And all those quote unquote creeps we had to potentially get us to down, yeah, they did nothing. Whether you get frozen, you get a weapon nerf, or you get a zombie ambush, all you have to do is just use one Team Ether Shroud and have your whole team group together. In the ammo drain? Yeah, just go buy more ammo. Oh, but we have the weapon carousel, which is fun. It keeps your pack and rarity level, making it just a fun thing to do. It was literally a gobblegum we used to pay for in Black Ops 3. I actively throw this challenge every single time because it makes the game more fun. And all of these things resulted in games that are genuinely pay to win, generally annoying for hardcore and casual players, and all last absolutely forever. I could poke holes in almost every single core system of this mode at launch, to the point where it genuinely feels like this mode was not playtested, or it was playtested for this game with 0 augments in mind. It just fundamentally did not work upon release. But hey, at least we've got 2 other cool new game modes, guys, and they're all LTMs. So no matter how fun these game modes are, or how much step time went into these, they're all going to get removed. And this especially feels like a spit in the face for the starting room challenge. Something we've been asking for as long as I can remember. We finally get it for a few weeks. That's it. And for both of these modes, they actually added a cell-shaded effect to it. You know the thing that we used to have in Black Ops 4 Zombies at launch as a permanent feature? Yep, that's being given back to us, but instead of being a permanent feature like its original version, it's now locked away behind a limited time mode that is bound to vanish forever. Along with Season 4, we also launched with ads in the Creator class. Guys, there's no defending this. Whether it was or wasn't an accidental internal test that went live, like they supposedly say it was, this should have never been even tested in the first place. This is some shit we would see in a mobile game. And hey, you know how everyone's been complaining about the fact we're getting very little new enemies here in Black Ops 6 Zombies? Cool-ass enemy design that's perfect for a zombies map here. Nope, it's in the shop. But guys, we got the addition of a brand new ammo mod here at launch. But it's Shatterblast, what we had in Cold War Zombies and MWZ. And it wasn't even there at launch. It was pushed back for 3 weeks for no reason, with no communication, and it's ass. But hey, we got the Grim Reaper, which is kind of cool, but again, just like the Death Machine, it doesn't fill any other niche that had already been done by any other Scorch Streak in the game. And thankfully, we did actually see some updates to Grief, but it was too little, too late. With the first round of updates, we saw a reduced melee stun and flinch effect, and an increase to the field upgrade charge time, then a second round that increased the zombie speed and hit damage from the start.
A new study out today says the true cost of living has gotten so high, half of the families in the 5 boroughs do not have enough income to make ends meet. They need some kind of assistance.
Well, that explains why people are leaving, but what's going to happen when everybody who's not rich vanishes from New York City? And why is it that nobody who's in charge here seems to care?
New Yorkers are feeling less positive, not very safe, and unsatisfied with most city services.
Costs in New York City have increased 131%.
What are you going to do? Not
eat, not pay your rent?
We make decent salary, but it's still not enough to survive in New York City.
Half of all city households don't make enough money to meet the minimum cost of living in New York City.
The middle class is leaving the city of New York. What we find with the people that we work with is that they're making tough choices between food and medicine.
Just 37% of New Yorkers felt safe in their neighborhoods, down from 50% in 2017. And only 11% feel the government is spending tax dollars wisely.
All those things that New Yorkers believe that are important, the report says that we are on the right track. The goal is to continue on that right track.
So 78,000 fewer people now reside in New York City. And this is not a one-off. It's been happening for the last 5 years. And what nobody's talking about is that if this trend continues, New York will be a city for the very rich and then whoever's still here. Which means New York could be headed for a dystopian contrast between the ultra-wealthy who can live wherever they want and the destitute who cannot afford to leave. And even though that might lead to a city that can't function properly, nobody in charge seems to mind that it's happening. Which means they either don't know it's happening or they benefit from it in some way. But before we get into what this means for the future of New York, it's important to understand that the problem of people leaving doesn't just affect wealthy areas like Manhattan. And that's because even the city's most affordable parts of town are no longer places everyday people can afford to live.
Now, we told you about this earlier in the week that New York City is losing some folks, right? Some residents. But it turns out that New York State is also seeing the population drop.
Yeah, according to the Census Bureau, New York lost 102,000 people, by far the most of any state. California...
Wow, okay, so it's not just the city that's losing residents, which means it's not just New York City that's got an affordability problem, it's the entire state. And if somebody can't afford to live in the city itself and they get displaced, they're probably leaving the state altogether. And look at this, these are the top 10 counties with population loss nationwide last year. Look at all the New Yorks you see in there, that's crazy. And the Bronx alone lost 2% of its population in 2023. And the Bronx is New York City's most affordable borough, considerably cheaper than where we are now in Midtown Manhattan. But the people living in these tiny luxury box apartments, they're rich. So rich, in fact, that the cost of living in New York, which has increased drastically, doesn't bother them.
The reason behind a true cost of living report that found costs in New York City have increased 131%, while median...
Wow, a 131% cost of living increase. Nobody gets a 131% raise unless you're super rich, which is why only the rich can afford to stay here. And wages are just not keeping up with the costs of making it in New York. Even jobs that would require a degree, it's still not enough for people to afford what it takes to live here. And this isn't just because the price of apartments is absolutely insane. No, there are other reasons why people are packing it up and calling it quits that have nothing to do with the rent.
$6.99. Many New Yorkers are struggling to afford basic needs as they deal with the rising cost of housing.
Half of all city households don't make enough.
The Prime Minister on the move at a lumber mill in D.C. as he faces questions about his next move against Donald Trump.
We've always said that we would apply tariffs where they had the maximum impact in the United States and a minimum impact in Canada.
Mark Carney showing no signs he'll retaliate against Trump's latest tariff hike, and now says he's open to dropping some countermeasures if it helps Canadian industries out. In March, Canada imposed retaliatory tariffs of 25% on a long list of products.
Northeast community left shaken.
Our little one too. And the girl we are talking about, she used to play with my daughter.
A toddler is dead after being struck down in an alley.
And it just feels like it never ends.
But it is the end for one Marta Loop business, they say, because of ongoing city construction. Plus, repairs and renovations continue.
And come back even stronger than what we were before the storm hit.
Along with reminders of last August's costly hailstorm.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla DiGiuseppe.
Good afternoon. The family of a 1-year-old girl is reeling after she was struck by a pickup truck and killed in the northeast community of Taradale. Mark Lanny is live at police headquarters for us. And Mark, we are learning more details tonight about the young victim.
Camilla, Anahat Gill was just 1 month away from her second birthday. Her family says that she was chasing after a toy in the back alleyway of her home around 7 o'clock Monday night. That's when she was hit by an oncoming white pickup truck that was making a right turn into a blind corner in that alleyway. Now, Gill is described as a pretty talkative, responsible, and curious little girl who always enjoyed playing with others. Her family declined to appear on camera, but says they are devastated, telling us she was struck by the front bumper of that white pickup truck. Police say the driver of the truck, a man in his 30s, headed westward into the alley on the 600 block of Taradale Drive Northeast before making that immediate right turn and hitting the child. He remained on scene and he is cooperating with investigators, but some neighbors had a close connection with this family and they're still in shock.
This is really devastating for us, and because I have a little one too. And the girl we are talking about, she used to play with my daughter every evening. And because you never know, because this is our house, right? And whenever she go back to the lawn area, she probably go back to the area as well, to the back alley. And this could happen to anyone.
Now, Calgary police say so far no charges have been laid in this incident as the investigation continues. But for now, police, again, reminding drivers to slow down in residential areas, pay attention to their surroundings, and also a reminder that in alleyways, the posted speed limit is 15 kilometers per hour. Camilla.
Mark, thank you so much. A motorcyclist in his 40s died when he lost control on Stony Trail by Crowchild Trail Northwest yesterday afternoon. Police say the man was traveling southbound in the middle lane of Stony Trail, which is under construction for repaving. When he changed to the left lane, he was thrown from the bike. Speed, alcohol, and drugs were all not factors in the crash. 2 people were injured after a taxi crash early this morning on Parkdale Boulevard near 27th Street Northwest. It happened at about 4 a.m. A cab heading south collided with a pedestrian signal pole on the center median. The front of the cab was heavily damaged and airbags were deployed. EMS says 2 people were treated at the scene. The intersection was closed for a couple of hours while police investigated. Friends of Carter Spivak Villeneuve's family have started a GoFundMe campaign to help with expenses after he was found dead in Abbeydale early Friday morning. Police say the 16-year-old's death is a homicide. Investigators say around 1:20 a.m. Friday they were called to Abergale Drive for reports of a person in medical distress. When officers arrived, they found Carter dead. Today, flowers and candles are at the site placed by mourners. Police are asking residents to check their property for anything suspicious and to share any dash cam or security footage with police. Specifically, they are looking for video from midnight to 1:30 a.m. because they believe he was around this area at the time. Anyone with information is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. And Calgary police have laid charges in a sweeping investigation into nighttime break and enters across the city. 17 people, including
We all know about perks in zombies. Berrucked on World at War was the first map to ever introduce these things, and they were very basic to start.
Quick Revive would revive your teammates faster, Juggernog would give you more health, Speed Cola made you reload faster, and Double Tap made you shoot faster. All of these perks are very simple, and most of them derive from the multiplayer. But these perks were very primitive and buggy. For example, there was a lot of health glitches with Juggernog, and Quick Revive did not even work on solo as it only had a multiplayer function. When Black Ops 1 released, it brought back these same 4 original perks, however, it did update them a bit. There was no more bugs with Juggernog, and Quick Revive had a solo function. But with the release of a new game, a lot of players thought there would be new perks. Mule Kick is on Kino now, but upon the game's release, it was not there. It was only added after Moon came out. So the first 2 maps upon Black Ops Zombies release still have these same 4 original perks. But this is where everything is about to change. With the release of DLC 1 came along 2 brand new perks, that being PhD Flopper and Stamina. This was the first time that the Zombies community ever received new perks outside of the original 4. Double Tap, which is one of the original 4 perks, was not even featured on Ascension. I believe that this decision was deliberately made in order to allow the player to utilize the new perks that they added, by freeing up one of those 4 slots that you have. Although Stamina Up is a very beloved perk today, the star of this show was PhD Flopper. This perk had 3 main abilities, the most notorious being the Flop, which upon doing so makes a big explosion and kills all the zombies. Although this feature might be the most famous of all of them, it is definitely not the best. The best feature of PhD Flopper is the fact that you take 0 explosive damage with explosive weapons. Whether it was grenades, monkey bombs, the crossbow, China Lake, ray gun, or even, like you see here, the Mustang and Sally, you will take 0 explosive damage when you hit yourself with it. This feature alone changed the entire landscape of zombies if you use this perk. Now, it wasn't just about getting a really good LMG, now you could use explosive weapons, which honestly really expanded the weapon usage in the game. The last feature of PhD Flopper is that it would get rid of all fall damage. Now, this might not seem like a lot on the surface, but later on, this is going to be a very important topic. PhD Flopper would then go to be on every single DLC map in Black Ops, and it would show its importance in the next installment. Call of the Dead, in my opinion, is almost impossible to play without PhD Flopper because the wonder weapon on the map has a huge explosive radius, that being the Scavenger. But because you have to use the Scavenger on this map, which is an explosive weapon, you might as well use the Mustang and Sally as well. Even though PhD Flopper debuted on Ascension, I feel like it was much more of a crutch perk on Call of the Dead. I believe that this would be the first sign to Treyarch that this perk might be just a little overpowered. But I feel like it was even more apparent when DLC 3 dropped. Shangri-La is a very hard map. It is a very close-quartered and tight map, and with the weakness of the Black Ops 1 weapons, Mustang and Sally really did shine on this map. And of course, if you're going to use Mustang and Sally, you're going to use PhD. Shangri-La with PhD, Mustang, and Sally's is what this map was meant to be. The BO3 remaster of this map does not have PhD Flopper, and you can tell that there is a clear difference between the 2 experiences. If you ever played Shangri-La back in the day on Black Ops 1, you know that every single person in your public match was running PhD Flopper and Mustang and Sally. The map was so close-quartered and tight that it almost seemed as if you didn't run it, you were going to have a terrible game. I think that this was the real tipping point that showed Treyarch that this perk might need to go. Moon was a little different. The map, generally speaking, had large open areas for the most part that you would sit at for the remainder of the game. I'm talking the Biodome, I'm talking outside by Mule Kick. Those areas you didn't really need PhD Flopper and Mustang and Sally. But, considering the fact that PhD Flopper is on the map, you might as well use it because the Mustang and Sally is just such a good weapon compared to a lot of the weaker guns in Black Ops 1. Now, although you don't need PhD for Moon, when you compare this perk to the other offerings on the map, it just seems like the better one to pick between Double Tap, Mule Kick, and Deadshot. It seems like one of the stronger options. Because it's one of the stronger options to use, you might as well use the Mustang and Sally as well because it's the best weapon you can use with it. The single feature of getting rid of explosive damage allowed for an extremely easy strategy to run when playing Black Ops.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just got some brand new bombshell information, and I'll tell you what, it pretty much confirms that all of President Trump's anti-illegal alien policies are working better than anyone could have expected. Now, as you all know, for 6 months now, President Trump has been steadily ramping up the pressure against the tens of millions of illegal aliens currently inside of our country. He created a self-deportation smartphone application. He offered to give illegal aliens a free plane ticket and a $1,000 stipend to help get them out of the country. And he's been systematically cutting off all of these illegal aliens from receiving taxpayer-funded benefits. But to top all of that off, as you all know, we've also been witnessing hundreds of ICE raids all throughout the country aimed at targeting the worst of the worst illegal aliens. And so, because of all of President Trump's anti-illegal alien policies, the United States of America really isn't that accommodating for illegal aliens anymore. And you know what? Thank God for that. But so all of this is why, according to brand new labor data that was just released this morning, we now know that in just the last 4 months alone, between March and July, over 1.7 million immigrant workers have left their jobs and gone home. They know that the jig is up, the free ride is over, and that it's only a matter of time before they get deported. So they might as well self-deport while they still have the chance. But you know what? President Trump himself actually weighed in on today's brand new numbers. Take a look.
But if you look at the jobs report last week, it did show a 1.7 million drop-off of foreign-born workers from March to July.
That's a great number, by the way. That's a great number. Because it means we're putting Americans to work.
And you know what? He's absolutely right. What's actually astounding is that despite all of these illegal aliens fleeing the country, over 1.7 million of them, our unemployment rate has pretty much stayed the same. And the reason why is because of all of the new jobs that President Trump has created, really all thanks to his trade negotiations and tariffs. And now, folks, we have a lot more to talk about today. Trust me, we do. But before we get to that, I want to say real quick that if you guys enjoy the daily news updates, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. But okay, folks, Stephen Miller actually weighed in on this entire situation. Take a look.
Look, at every turn, illegal aliens have always been treated better than Americans. The difference is, in this administration, they're getting a ticket out of America so that we can take care of our own people. Do you have any idea how many resources will be opened up for Americans when the illegals are gone? No more waiting in line at an emergency room? No more massive traffic in Los Angeles? Your health insurance premiums go down? Your public school classroom size will shrink dramatically. They have more time to educate every student. You won't have to compete for public benefits. If you're down on your luck, you're having a hard time, you do need to get support from the government. You're not going to be in line behind millions of illegal aliens from the third world. This is going to be such a gift to the quality of life of everyday Americans, Jesse. It's hard to even express the wonders that await for working people.
I mean, you had me at no traffic in LA.
And so, folks, this is actually a really great point. When we talk about illegal aliens, we're often talking about crime rates and jobs numbers and the economy, but rarely do we actually talk about all of the little basic day-to-day things that we're all starting to notice now that all of these people are starting to leave the country. Already, traffic on the roads is starting to clear up, and the wait times at the hospitals are starting to go down, and there aren't so many people taking up space at Costco or at your local city park. These things are happening already, and it's all extremely noticeable. But you know what? What if I told you that because of President Trump's immigration policies, we've actually just shattered a 50-year record? Take a look.
How about net migration in the United States? Get this, it's down. It's going to be down at least 60%. We may be dealing with, get this, negative net migration to the United States in 2025. That would be the first time there is negative net migration in this country in at least 50 years. We're talking about down from 2.8 million in 2024. So Donald Trump has always run on tariffs, and he's running a hawkish line on immigration. And on both of those issues, we are seeing record high tariff rates for this century going all the way back, well back into the early part of the 20th century. And when it comes to immigration, net migration, we are seeing record low levels, way down from where we were during the Biden administration. We are potentially looking at negative net migration for the first time in at least 50 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand what all of that means? Right now, what we're witnessing is the largest decrease in immigration into the United States of America in 50 years. In fact, more people are actually leaving the country than are entering the country. And yes, this figure is predominantly composed of illegal immigrants. But you know what? What do you say we talk about why the Democrats even allowed all of these people into the country in the first place? Let it play.
The Democrat Party is completely radicalized. They're a party of extremists. They're committed to the rights of illegal aliens over the very lives of American citizens. So, of course, we know and we understand that Democrats want to flood the country with illegals because it gives them extra congressional seats. It changes apportionment. It expands their political power under birthright citizenship. All their kids become automatic citizens. So all of these things Democrats believe will increase their political power, grow the welfare state, grow dependency, strengthen, for example, the power of the teachers union, because millions of illegal aliens are getting free education in public schools. So we understand all of these things. But I think at a deeper level, at a much deeper level, Sean, they hate America. At least they hate America as you and I know it, the America that our founders gave us, and they want to end that America and create a new communist hellhole, and they believe open borders is the way to get there.
And so, folks, everything he just said is absolutely 100% true. All of these illegal aliens didn't just accidentally end up in the country. No, it wasn't some mistake. Really, it was the deliberate agenda of the Democrats in an effort to replace all of us actual American citizens. And so finally, Americans are standing up and fighting to take our country back. In fact, on that note, take a listen to what the ICE director had to say about ICE's ongoing recruitment efforts just yesterday afternoon.
You're really trying to recruit more agents, $50,000 up front, very attractive packages to bring them in. How's that going?
Oh, it's going great, Martha. We have almost 78,000 applicants since we opened up, and we're going through. We're finding those people that really want to serve the country and really be in law enforcement. I think it's a great way to recruit now. We're taking back our rehired annuitants, people that left the job early because they weren't allowed to do the law enforcement mission. But we have so many people that are interested now in working with ICE because now they're seeing, under Secretary Snowden's leadership, we have a viable law enforcement partner in the community. You are actually out there making a difference. So we're really ecstatic about seeing the increase in new recruits that are applying.
And so, folks, like I said earlier, all across the country, Americans are finally standing up to help kick out all of these illegal aliens. And so, of course, this ties back to the self-deportation numbers that we were talking about earlier. Illegal aliens know that they're not wanted, they know that they're not welcome, but most importantly, they know that it's only a matter of time before they get deported. Which is why, in just the last 4 months alone, over 1.7 million of them have self-deported. President Trump's plan is working, and like I said earlier, I think it's safe to say that it's working better than anyone could have expected. So hey, I don't know about all of you, but me personally, all of this is exactly what I voted for.
In the NFL, injuries are inevitable. But it's not always the monster tackles and the big hits that leave players hobbled and your fantasy team in limbo. Sometimes the biggest injuries come from the fields that the players play on.
Non-contact leg injury.
Holy cow. I cannot believe this.
He tried to explode and went down immediately. You've probably seen this stuff 1,000 times on TV football games.
Stuff that was tires that they ground up.
Knees start hurting when I said turf.
Boy, that's
Bro, I'd rather practice in thunderstorm with a chance of getting struck by lightning than run inside on the turf.
But at the end of the day, it's the NFL, so it's all about business.
Stop with the bullshit, NFL owners, okay? And I don't understand it. I don't.
It already is very chaotic and very violent. Why are we adding this extra element in this?
See how he gets twisted up?
This huge body of players saying, like, listen to my experience. Don't just wither me down to a number.
What's the issue here, JC?
Yeah, there are two surfaces that players play on. Grass, which I think everybody knows they've been playing on since they were kids, And then artificial turf, the rubber pellets and the fake plastic carpet.
That's J.C. Treader. He played for 11 years in the NFL as an offensive lineman.
Shotgun snap from J.C. Treader.
Now he's the president of the National Football League Players Association. The NFLPA has been fighting to get the league to move to all grass fields for years now. But the wealthiest league in the world, which made $12 billion last year alone, is too cheap to ban turf. Instead, they celebrate it.
It's my favorite creation since a ball made of Nerf. So here's one man's ode to artificial turf.
And this is what NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell is now saying about the dangers of turf.
You've got mixed opinions. What we want to go is on science.
Well over 90% of our players prefer to play on grass. Feel that their bodies feel better, their bodies respond better.
You ask any player in the league about turf, they're just like,
hurts your knees, your back, it just takes a toll on your body. It sucks. No one enjoys playing on it. Everyone's too scared to talk about it.
And then you look at the data that's brought in, and for 11 straight years, the injury rates on grass have been better than the injury rates on turf.
Half the league uses grass. The other half plays home games on turf. A study earlier this year found that playing on artificial turf produced a 28% higher rate of non-contact lower body injuries. Medical professionals will tell you that the reasons are obvious.
The evidence out there shows that for foot and ankle injuries, those are the highest risk on artificial surfaces. It's kind of like running on concrete. If you're running on concrete a lot, it's a lot of wear and tear. It can hurt your joints, hurt your ankle. Whereas if you're running on a softer surface or like a grass surface, there's more give, there's more cushion. And also, it looks like your cleat might be more likely to get caught on these artificial surfaces and create like a torque or twisting injury.
Later in my career, my knees were not in good shape. When the schedule would come out, the first thing I would do would be circle the games that are on turf and just hope that they weren't like back-to-back weeks, because I knew I'm not going to be able to recover. And when you have all of these players saying the same thing, guys know how much pain they're in from playing on turf.
The injuries this year have been piling up, with turf fields helping take out one superstar after another.
He's down. Holy cow. I cannot believe this.
Yet the NFL refuses to budge, even as anger from the players continues to mount.
All NFL games should be played on grass fields. It is a joke.
Take care of your players, man.
This is Kelsey to straight up.
The data is clear, and yet they want to continue to pursue a turf that jeopardizes the main value that they have. Mind-boggling. Why is it happening, JC?
I think if they want to be honest, it would be to make money elsewhere. They would prefer to be able to host concerts and monster truck rallies, and it's easier to do that when your field is plastic and you can put things over top of it.
Unfortunately, over the past year, some teams have gone in the wrong direction.
We saw Carolina and we saw Tennessee, both of which used to be grass fields, have recently moved to turf. And they both said, it's too hard to grow grass. Green Bay's got grass, Cleveland's got grass, Pittsburgh's got grass, but Carolina and Tennessee are, I guess, the hardest places to grow grass.
They'll figure it out. Always figure it out. You know what I mean?
Stadiums with grass fields do hold plenty of concerts and monster truck rallies. Just look at Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. Some teams have come up with novel solutions to maintain all grass fields.
In places like Vegas, like Phoenix, they have a field that rolls in and out through a garage door, if you will.
That's Professor Trey Rogers, the preeminent expert in replacing turf fields with grass. For decades, he's been deploying a state-of-the-art system designed to work in any modern stadium.
Solid plastic can be developed, put on a roll, transported, laid out after the concert. It is literally ready to play that day. I have seen this side go in on a Sunday morning and played on a Monday afternoon. We've coined a term recently. We call it farm to stadium ready.
Professor Rogers estimates that this system would cost somewhere between $2 and $3 million. Pocket change for a league that pays quarterbacks $35 million a year. But owners don't seem too bothered by the expense when the other football, soccer, comes knocking.
They change it for soccer players when they can. They always wheel in natural grass for them to play in, and then they take it off when they leave. So
these owners want to have European soccer teams and FIFA and the World Cup come to their facilities, and FIFA and the European soccer team mandate grass.
And guess who's developing the tech to make all of these conversions possible?
For this World Cup, the amount of sod we're going to need is enormous.
And that's where we get in this crazy world that players just cannot wrap their heads around, where these owners are willing to rip up the turf, put in grass, and then once the soccer players are done, rip up the grass and put back down turf for the NFL players to play on.
In many cases, your public tax dollars will be subsidizing these temporary conversions. In Texas, the state is giving away millions in tax breaks so that the team can upgrade their stadiums for the World Cup. The public is paying ultra-wealthy Cowboys owner Jerry Jones to grow grass for the soccer tournament, only to rip it up and put turf back down for the NFL season. Ohio's Hamilton County owns the Bengals' Paul Brown Stadium. It's going to spend at least $10 million to fix the place up for the World Cup, including installing a grass field, which will then later be ripped up again to reinstall the turf.
The teams in those cities are quick to say, like, hey, it's not our decision. Well, we hear you, but it's up to the city or up to the municipality, which has been interesting because it's really great to say that until the municipality starts siding with the workers. If you want to kind of push the decision off to the local city and local politicians, then let's see what those local politicians have to say when it comes to are they going to stand on protecting workers.
Fans in these cities can get involved by pressuring your elected officials to protect the players. The NFLPA is asking everyone to stand up and petition owners to do the right thing here.
I think their voices matter. They are the paying customers that keep this entire industry up. That's why we continue to grow year after year after year. As fans, they want to see the best players in the world play. And if there's a surface out there that's decreasing the likelihood for the paying customer to see the best players in the world play, then they should speak up.
I think it's pretty simple. The numbers say the grass is healthier for the players, and so I want to play on the best surface that will keep me healthy.
There's a lot of money being made in this league, a lot of money that's going around.
Yeah.
I feel like at least
every day in America sees another national scandal that would bring down the government in any other country. Not so with Donald Trump and his regime of far-right nationalists. No, for some reason, they can just keep setting everything on fire, and journalists haven't got the time to cover every story. In fact, a story that came and went yesterday is that Trump, on Friday, said he'd ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions in response to the former Russian president, Dmitry Medvedev, about the risk of war between the nuclear-armed adversaries. Well, security analysts called Trump's move a rhetorical escalation with Moscow, given that the United States already has nuclear-powered submarines that are deployed and capable of striking Russia. Medvedev on Thursday said Trump should remember that Moscow possessed Soviet-era nuclear strike capabilities of last resort, after Trump had told Medvedev to watch his words. Based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions just in case. These foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that, Trump said in Friday's Truth Social post. He added, words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Donald Trump, off the back of a tweet that obviously caught him in the wrong mood, caused him to make strategic military decisions because, what, he was trying to flex his muscles and prove that he's a strong man? Reporters asked him later that day why he ordered the submarine movement. Trump said a threat was made by a former president of Russia and we're going to protect our people. I mean, if a true nuclear threat was going to be made, it wouldn't be made on Twitter.
I think it's very risky business for a lot of reasons. Most significantly, it seems to reveal Trump doesn't really understand how our nuclear navy works and what their plan of operation is. As for Medvedev, it's true he's a former Russian president, a former prime minister, in fact, always subordinate to Vladimir Putin. Right now, the position he holds is equivalent
to Deputy National Security Advisor in the United States. And it's just really very ill-advised to have the president responding to somebody like that, whatever they're tweeting on whatever subject. Even if somebody should respond to him, it shouldn't be the president.
The executive director of the Arms Control Association Advocacy Group said this is irresponsible and inadvisable. This is Daryl Kimball, who said that no leader or deputy leader should be threatening nuclear war, let alone in a juvenile manner on social media. Hans Christensen of the Federation of American Scientists said that nuclear submarines, part of the so-called nuclear triad with bombers and land-based missiles, were always positioned to launch nuclear-armed missiles at targets in Russia. He said these subs are always there all the time, and they don't need to be moved into position. Trump grants Medvedev a response to these crazy statements. The US has a total of 14 Ohio-class nuclear-powered submarines. Each is capable of carrying up to 24 Trident II D5 ballistic missiles that can deliver multiple thermonuclear warheads up to 4,600 miles. Between 8 and 10 Ohio-class submarines are deployed at any one time, according to the Nuclear Threat Initiative Arms Control Group. If this is all it takes for Donald Trump to make some strategic decisions, contrary to the advice of the security services, where Trump, as commander-in-chief with no military experience, is like, okay, Bad's tweet, me move submarines. That is a scary prospect for anyone. And I know that Trump was goading Volodymyr Zelensky in the Oval Office that time about you're going to cause World War III. Well, you know, Trump projects. If you want to know what Trump is really thinking, you just flip all of his sentences. Trump is trying to instigate World War III. Moving submarines, whether he moved them or not, it's highly likely that he was just posturing or showing off, as his mum might say. And this is the problem, is that Trump treats the US military like his train set, like his toys, like he is a child, and he is playing the role of a president on a TV show.
I don't think Putin takes the threat serious.
Donald Trump strolls the roof of the White House. I guess he got tired of looking down on the American people in a figurative manner and wanted to do it literally. This is just another day. Today, the President of the United States took avoiding responsibility to an actual whole new level. Finally, the Broadway remake we've been waiting for. Unfortunately, the performance of If I Were a Rich Man takes on a whole new meaning in this one. But continuing his long-held tradition of pretending he's part of the actual construction team, this morning Donald Trump decided that since there weren't any other pressing matters to attend to, why not stroll the White House roof and put in his 2 cents on how this unnecessary ballroom renovation should go. And if you look closely, you can see why they call this man an expert in it. Yeah, what does this mean? Is this his genius proposal for ballroom structure? Because I'm getting more of a yurt vibe. Or maybe he's describing much of the Epstein files he still hasn't been released. Or maybe it's just how much of the economy he's tanking. Whatever. All of it. Tell you what, I'll let him describe it. Yeah, I think the elevation may have gotten to his head. He never spends his money on anything. He's used his campaign funds to pay his legal bills. He used his money that was supposed to go to veterans to pay his staff. And he's using the entire office of the presidency to promote his golf courses and crypto games. A point I'm sure Ron Hughes was quick to make.
There's been a lot of discussion lately on whether or not Alberta is going to leave Canada. And what would happen if they did leave Canada? Would they become part of the United States to become their own thing? What sort of options are actually available to them? And guess what? Saskatchewan and parts of British Columbia are also considering it, forming a movement called Wexit, which represents essentially the major provinces of Western Canada, potentially. And guess what? There is established led by the Blue Queen.
Sam, we have arrived. Let us put the Sentinel artifact to good use.
I tracked your approach, and I'm pleased to be along Terra. Though you may find Portal Hall remains somewhat infected.
underground. Everywhere we fucking go, we end up underground. That's one for the folks of Liberty Falls.
Insta-kill.
I swear this takes longer every time. The box hates me. Not that I care. Okay, I do care. See? Is that so hard? You don't always need to be such a massive twat.
Some final preparations remain to activate the Sentinel artifact. Only then can we bring that Nexus from the darkness.
Great! More mystic puzzles, yeah? Fuck me dead. I promise you, Box, I can be a much bigger prick than you, so don't fuck with me. For me? Really? What's the cat? Still haven't wrapped my noggin around what we're using to gas up the Sentinel thing.
They call it prima materia. That's some bullshit alchemy term. We need something more scientific. Peck particles. Has a nice ring, don't you think?
Putting my bet in. I'd sooner put my money on a three-legged horse.
Well, to give everyone an idea, equalization is essentially this element of the Canadian Constitution, which takes the tax revenue from the various provinces and then essentially does redistribution of wealth based off of where. And so Alberta represents, I think he represents somewhere around 12 to, was it like 12% of the population of Canada. We represent like 15% of the wealth of those 17. Simultaneously get up and make it more and more difficult for you to innovate in terms of creating development.
What a relief. You're alive and well. Sorry, I could not arrange a more welcoming reception.
Yep. This place is a real fixer-upper. How'd we become housekeepers for these pricks?
This is a large property. Where exactly should we take the artifact?
My quantum processing unit is underground. Find a way down to my mainframe chamber.
no, you take all the time you need. It's not like I got other shit to do. Oh, Box, you know exactly what this girl wants.
I had every confidence you would recover the Sentinel artifact. Therefore, I am also certain you will be able to charge it up.
Come. I knew it would not be as simple as merely delivering the cursed thing.
Double points. Tuck and sticky. Oh, you want to be friends today? Is that it? Still have to wrap my noggin around what rock on. Looks like there'll be no
They
rest till
call it
exfil.
prima materia. That's some bullshit alchemy term. We need something more scientific. Peck particles. Has a nice ring, don't you think?
Max armor.
Things are pretty dog shit as it is. No need to... Every cartel boss and arms dealer I ever met had a villa, plantation, or mansion. Might seem cool to some. To me, house like this screams trouble.
What, the walking corpses weren't enough of a red flag?
I get a complex because of you. When I need to switch careers. Seriously, what makes you steal the box?
But they did stop. It was going to be a complete gun ban. It ended up being something that just took away. Okay, there's going to be no more pistols. There's no more pistols. There's going to be no more certain numbers of rifles, stuff like that. So it wasn't as bad as it could be, but there's nobody pushing back to go. Okay, use that. It's just okay. Not everything got taken away. So they were satisfied with just stopping it. Yeah, that's dangerous because that's always how they steal. That's always how they again. They like to look up the yeah. So the last thing that they originally wanted to is that from 2016 before this.
Sam, we have arrived. Let us put the Sentinel artifact to good use.
I trust your approach, and I am pleased you came along, Sergei. Though you may find Fulton Hall remains somewhat infected. Once you get inside, make your way down to my mainframe chamber. I cannot wait to see you.
Whatever else is in the basement, there better be a fully stocked bar. Don't suppose Uncle Sam gives out medals for marksmanship. Didn't settle for a Vicky.
stuck, kid.
If it spews out a slingshot, I'm
After
fucking
all
done.
you've endured, all the miles you traveled, I regret there are just a few tiny little final tests.
Great. More mystic puzzles, yeah? Fuck me, Dad. Better I gamble here than some dodgy... Still haven't wrapped my noggin around what we're using to gas up the Sentinel thing.
They call it prima materia. That's some bullshit alchemy term. We need something more scientific. Peck particles. It's a nice ring, don't you think?
It's gonna take everything I have and flip me the bird for my trouble, isn't it? Every cartel boss and arms dealer I ever met had a villa, plantation, or mansion. Might seem cool to some. To me, a house like this screams trouble.
What, the walking corpses weren't enough of a red flag? Until today, the only reason I'd be caught dead in redneck territory is the barbecue.
Ugh, stop right there. With all the dead meat around here, you put me off pulled pork forever.
Tear them to pieces. Max ammo.
God, this place reeks of rich douchebag. You got a word for that in Russian?
We are quite familiar with men who build wealth on the back of the proletariat. Ask the Tsar. Again, we famously solved that problem.
Nighty-night, you slime-spitting bogan. Semtex out.
Double points.
You see that, Peck? How about you get off your ass and give it a go?
Max armor.
We are far from home, you and I. So, what do you think of the decaying West?
Is that some kind of Soviet put-down? Because I'd wear that on a t-shirt. Weaver's left nut to get that fucking elevator working.
See a penny, pick it up. All day long you'll have a penny.
Placing zap trap. Don't protect on it. Yeah, I know it's tempting.
Nice points.
10% more than the annual income of Canadians for a 147 square foot parking space. Okay? Oh, by the way, you also have to pay a $41 a month HOA. Oh,
I am looking forward to meeting you in person, even though I am not actually.
That's actually the cheapest, by the way, Nick, that was the cheapest parking space. That was the cheapest parking space in Vancouver. Like, just look at, like, the million ones on the market. Here you go, $2 million in Vancouver. Well, that's like London does. But it's only 2,200 square feet. Next to the
I've sorted fucked up outboards more times than I can count. Changing a fuse? Piece of piss. Close the door! Close the fucking door!
Double points. Full power.
What time of night do you call this, young lady? Wait, what? I mean, hello, good of you to join me.
How can we become housekeeping for these pricks?
Fun for the visual archive. That's sending out the herd? Oh, never mind. Here come more.
You hear that, uglies? That's the sound of your fucked.
Max ammo.
Now's a good time to clock out. Air traffic is slow.
We're done with this home makeover. Give us the lift.
Right? And so, there's a part of me that knows what I told you, right?
because I'm coming through.
Just so y'all know, every gray hair on my head touches this. Like you couldn't pull off this evac, you know? I would kick your ass.
Rapid Response Team Alpha, Security Chief Blanchard. I'll copy. I've barricaded the command center. Got a little dinged up. I'll live. See if there's anyone left to save. Body cam's live. I'll keep eyes on. Be advised, we lost contact with 3 of our scientists in town trying to stop the outbreak. Find them, bring them home. We use brain power as much as firepower.
Everything is already there.
Can't tell you how much I love that popping sound.
It's on the wall. It's on a different channel, but it's on the unit wall. This is a public document.
Relief. I was sure you'd have me over a barrel. Again.
But what? Like I said, you're not thinking. This is why I try to have conversations with you folks if you don't want to actually talk and listen. Okay, well, we have no business.
You know, the people who lived here trusted us. We failed them. And I can't even explain how.
I'm not letting nothing else talk. None at all. So, like I said, I don't know what's up with what you're doing.
Wouldn't surprise me if this was the same one that Pandora chick got. He's pretty, but can you tell? Get on with it, you overblown slot machine. Wouldn't try to unlock a knockoff on me, would you? Nah, you ain't that stupid.
So number one, be very careful about your actions. Very careful. Okay? So, you have
I was sure you'd have me over a barrel. Again.
If you contend on that check and you're working on your time and not respecting my time, the fact that when I'm working, I don't need you talking to me at all. I don't need you bothering me, right? I need to work. I'm in the midst of the traffic cars. I'm walking around looking around. That energy is not distracted. My job is on the actual thing. So my career is okay, so, I mean, the fact is that you've already been disqualified from the team over here, basically. Okay, so whatever you do, if you want to redeem yourself, honey, you go ahead and do that. If you continue to struggle and you want to message, it's called intermittent communication, and it's a felony across state line. If you continue to leave me messages on your time when you want and expect my freedom, but I can't defend myself, I can't speak on an even playing field. If you continue to do that, I will then again ban the account every single time, right? And then go back and until you understand, right? And I shouldn't have to do that.
Tear them to pieces.
See my point?
Perfect. Keep wasting those little shits on sight.
Max ammo.
So again, if you intend to go on, right? I will again this man false for nobody. Okay? That is reality. I don't know who it ain't. Okay? So
See? Can't be hungry if you don't have a head. Problem solved.
Like, you're sick.
Shock out!
Max ammo.
Congratulate. And then on top of that, I reached a milestone with my company. Like I said, I was able to get that check done within 1 month. And everything is legit over here. I'm so proud of myself, it's unreal. Now I'm working on the next one. It's already up over $9. These folks is super triggered and pressed, super upset. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to exacerbate that now every day. They're going to be so mad, it's unreal. We like real talk. They're going to get so mad, we already know what they're going to do. Real talk. They all do it to themselves anyway. They're going to do themselves in. We already know that. And that's what we want, 100%. So we're going to keep on laughing at them. Let's play this game for real now. You understand? See, like I said, folks should tell me what the game is so I know what game we play. So that's the thing. Can't nobody have a relationship or love anybody or care about anybody when they already doing more than enough for everyone. We got way too much on my plate. Things have been made impossible. And then I got folks trying to give me a hard time. And like I said, this is the same thing I went through in past fake relationships that I was in. And I did the best I could, and that was it. You can't do anything when you've got people that are playing these type of games with you. So what we do is we drop everything and we focus on you, right? And basically we defeat you, and then we keep it pushing. I already defeated all you. Seriously. I already addressed all y'all. There's been a whole lot of stuff that's happened. So I won. And like I said, I don't know what they're talking, asking me silly questions. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever this? I mean, are you serious? I mean, to look at how people talk about people in the valley who leave here. I mean, come on, bro. Everybody has problems with y'all. See what I'm saying? See, this is what I'm talking about. This I owe you something, this attitude, this entitlement. Everything y'all say down here doesn't exist. The fact is, the valley is delusional. Real talk. That's why they're cheap and they can't even pay a dime for anything I do. So now I'm definitely telling y'all how I feel in front of you, and you can't do nothing about it. Yeah, I'll tell you how I feel all day. I'm not worried about what you like. I'm not even worried about anything y'all talking about. I'm going to keep on representing myself out here and showing who I am, the whole world. Like I said, people who think I'm fake, come test it. Because everybody who thought I was fake was in for a rude awakening real quick. Everybody's found out, man, he real as hell. Everybody's found out, man, he really is a street gangster. He really worse than Mike Tyson in his prime. These things are all proven. I'm 6'2", 165 pounds, homie, and I don't play. So, like I said, folks know about me. I got a reputation. Talk about women. I mean, bro, it takes me 5 seconds. Real talk. I can find a relationship anywhere in 2 seconds. I can have anyone I want, anything I want. That's the thing. I'm such a prize. Folks cannot play with me. You can't fumble the prize. I don't need you. I don't need Christina. Like I said, she doesn't seem to understand. I asked simply to speak. You've been doing this for years. You don't want to let me talk when I want to talk. It don't work that way. I will have full access to talk to my girlfriend at any time. I will never have to struggle like that, nor have I ever been in a relationship like that. So this was something that these are the issues they have, and they project, and they wanted to create these burdens and then bring them onto me and have them within my life when I don't have those issues. See the point? So, yeah, no, we don't deal with people who ghost and disappear when they want and talk when they want. No, it's random. We don't, so it's okay, you know, like, you'll get the point. Everybody understands. Everybody gets the point. Like I said, everybody learns their lesson. And that's about it. So, yeah, no, I mean, like I said, what's done is unforgivable, and guess what? I still forgive you. 100%. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I mean, you don't talk on your terms. You don't decide how a conversation or anything goes. You don't dictate nothing. I don't want to hear about fake money over here. You put up, well, I don't, you have to put up anything. Send me documentation. Send me the documents for everything. I want everything. I want proof of everything until then don't claim it. So if you're talking to me, we don't do that.
Alpha Team, this is Chief of Security Blanchard. Are you a sight for sore eyes? I've been holed up in the mansion since yesterday trying to organize a containment response. Now that you're here, let's lock down that AO. I'll track body cams and coordinate.
Fucking sticky.
Double points.
Blanchard to Alpha. 3 Janus-signed staffers are missing somewhere in your AO. Locate and extract. I'm counting on their expertise to end this outbreak.
Dad would have been proud of that one. Ah, you want to be friends today? Is that it? At this point, I don't care if it shoots fucking acorns, so long as the job gets done. For me?
Sorry you can't
Really?
hear yet. Well,
What's the
anyone
catch?
had to show up.
Sorry,
I'm
force to
glad
have
it
it.
was you.
Insta-kill.
If you give me an axe, I'm gonna turn you into fire starters. As my people like to say, you're being a proper see you next Tuesday.
Everybody knows what I am. But I'm
Bonus points.
better than us. So, like I said, it is what it is, man. Like I said, so-called women, they ruin everything. Y'all can't even have a real relationship. Y'all can't love people. You know what I mean? A woman can't control nothing.
Tear them to pieces.
Way to swat that bug, Alpha.
Max ammo.
Like, I'm waiting to get in front of me, whether it's on the computer, and pull it, and allow me to see it. So I don't know how you got there. Right, I don't trust
Guess that one was done using his body.
Whoops, where'd your head go?
Max armor.
That system has moved them up. Let's get real. They can't tell me what to do. Okay? I went circles around that system. That system is a joke. See, who's running the streets? Me and you. Okay? You tell me what to do. Like I said, I'm superior. I've got any of the great teams. So, like I said, I'm the boss. I'm the one who put in the groundwork to build these companies, just like I'm putting in the groundwork to build my reputation. I have a website. I have marketing around the world. I'm worldwide. I'm the artist to ever go worldwide independent. Try recently. I have performed years. I have responsibility. I get anyone. I don't even care about it. I'm not looking for so-called. Dude, that's the thing. They trying to talk like I'm a different person. You don't know me. How do you think I desire women? Not at all. Could care less. No. This woman approached me online. She was pursuing me because I'm the prize. They all pursue me. I just had to reject one the other day. Seriously. Like, they sitting there owning their feelings because, like, they want to sit there and pretend, and I'm just, like, not feeling it. And like I said, I'm loyal, and that's the whole point. I would never go behind nobody's back. So when I told Christina, I love you, I meant that 100%. You know what I mean? And I still wish that I could feel that way, but I don't have any way of knowing because I don't know who you are. So like I said, that's not only unfair, that's a crime, and that's beyond, normalcy. So like I said, there's no choice. You need to get on the thing. You got to just do a basic thing to make it where I'm not in a different position where, what you're doing is a crime. So, I mean, cool, we have nothing to talk about. But don't act confused like you can't hear. You heard me loud and clear, bro. We've asked for basic, simple things. You haven't acknowledged anything I've said. You refuse to acknowledge reality or just say, hey, yes, I'll do these things right now. I mean, it's as easy as coming on this show, putting your face on camera, and saying, yes, I love you, and I'm really here, and I'm real, and I'm his girlfriend, and I really do want what's best for him, and I'm on his side. Hold on. So, like I said, you've taken too long, so I'm single, and now you don't need to do it. Because it's obviously too much of a problem. Like I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody, everyone who was there with me would be super proud of me, would show me off. I don't know what these people are talking about. They're trying to make me feel the way they feel like this. Yeah, right. When I went to the club growing up with a new chick every time. When I was out living in Charlotte, North Carolina, I went to Myrtle Beach. I literally was with another girl every single day, every night. For real. Not like these made up rap stories where you can't get a chick. I'm talking about, I've literally, like, I've been with millions, bro. All ones. Like millions. Literally millions, easily. So, when folks want to talk and run their mouth and you want to talk to you, that's not going to get us anything that we're trying to gain. I'm on here trying to get resources. If it comes to women, I want to meet them, and I mean, we need something that happens, common sense. I mean, we got to go on a date, we got to do something, we want to have fun. I'm not here for people to sit there and hide and be talking to me somewhat, oh yeah, you're this and that. See, that's corny. I'm not looking for your validation. I know I'm the you-know-what. I know I'm the bee's knees. I know I'm good looking. I know I'm stepped. I know that I'm well, you-know-what it is. I know I'm good. I'm not worried about you. See, I get real ones. All y'all on the internet stuff. I get women in reality. That ain't nothing. Are you serious? Yeah, that's a joke. I don't think about that because it's not a priority for me. You know what's a priority for me? Building this business. See how I have my priorities straight? You know what's a priority for me? Being a grown man. You know what's a priority for me? Building my future. You know what's a priority for me? Taking over the streets and being Batman. You know what's a priority for me? Focusing on studying all these criminals and all these corrupt folks. You know what's a priority for me? Exposing them to make sure they lose their jobs and go to prison and be held accountable and get what they deserve. You know what's a priority for me? God and Jesus Christ. You know what's a priority for me? Karma and your karma. And continue to see it happen in your life. And not even that. I sit there sometimes and just almost feel sorry for y'all. Not like you. Like I said, I wish all y'all nothing but the best. I got nothing but love for y'all, man. Like I said, these people, I don't know why you would do all that on a computer. And like I said, I mean, like I said, that's a conversation that's reserved for not on the internet. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you want to know how I really feel and you want to let me talk whenever you want to do that and you want to grow up and be mature, like I said, come out here and see me. And quit acting like, oh, I'm just going to let people who've done all these things to me for years online and this behavior and all these crimes, like I'm just going to let you talk to me or roll up around me. No, you won't come within 5,000 feet of me. I assure you. No, I'm not. I don't feel no type of way. There's no.
I hope you rested up on your journey to West Virginia. You look well.
First time in America. And it's to shag out as expected. That's a better death than you deserve.
Harry, we have so much to do, and it's lonely down here.
Patience, Sam. The team is busy schmoozing with the locals.
I promise the simple offset will deliver results, but using it may prove as difficult as about to obtain.
Seriously? I swear, Max has better kiss all our asses when we bring her back from the dark ether.
Max armor.
Still haven't wrapped my noggin around what we're using to gas up the Sentinel thing.
They call it prima materia. That's some bullshit alchemy term. We need something more scientific. Peck particles. Has a nice ring, don't you think?
Right.
Bonus points.
But I believe in God's promise and reading they all did true. So like I said, my wealth is not coming from Christina necessarily, it's coming from God. So he gonna give me my money, and I really would like to have my own money. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, because I'm sure not gonna listen to you. So like I said, if whatever you're gonna do, like I said, I need at least $100,000 in my pocket. Real talk. And if not, I just need you to be a normal person and at least talk to me and get on the same page and realize you're not busy and you're going to talk to me all day long, every single day. If you have a meeting you claim or something to do, then what you do is you inform me of what you're doing. I never liked that day one, how you just disappear while I'm talking. Nobody will do that while I'm talking. Okay? People know that about me. I think I made that point pretty clear. So again, when you speak to me, right, you don't leave anywhere. I don't care if it's in the chat or whatever. You say, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going, because that's normal human behavior. That's respect. You should find some and get some. Okay? So again, these folks want to pretend, but they're weird and not making any sense, and I make crystal clear, coherent sense. Again, who's getting the results? The Walfords are failing. Tyrese Sneed and Batman already succeeded. My business is thriving. We're over $9, and the next check is over $113. The one after that is over $9. We're only on like what, the 5th or 6th of August. I'm building this nonstop. I mean, I'm getting plenty of views always. I mean, this is on autopilot. This is the business. I'm here to run my business. All that other stuff, like I said, I'm just a real dude and a gangster. So my energy is real. So I'm like, why are you talking to me that way in a way you would never talk to me? These folks want to play on the internet. I'm not here to play. So you see the point that you're trying to take advantage of something that it's impossible. This is my show, just like this is my life. Yeah, ain't nothing going. I will never lose anything. I will never take no losses. We ain't taking no L's with none of you. Okay? No. Y'all some cowards, bro. And y'all ain't on nothing. You ain't talking about nothing. You for sure don't scare me. You don't scare anybody, bro. I'm a real gangster, bro. I'm the mob. Trust me. There's nothing and nobody on this planet that scares me. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with being cautious and moving with self-preservation, something you clearly don't understand. This is why y'all have nothing. I have everything to lose. I don't play around with folks who have nothing going for them and feel they have nothing to lose, especially on the internet. So like I said, streets, internet, two totally different things. There's no YouTube streets. The YouTube is not the streets. You found that out with your boy, you know what, Andy, real quick, right? When that stuff happened in that back alleyway out there in California, wherever he was at, Hollywood. So stop playing with me, bro. Like I said, and remember, all these folks, they want to give money to out of you-know-what towards me. I mean, that's fine. You can do whatever you want. I mean, how do you think the Walfords got their little grocery? That's cool, but you don't have a business plan. You're in desperation, and you're talking about, I got an interview set up, but I don't know. Yeah, because you're not a mechanic. You're not going to make any money, bro. And even if you came up on a couple, like $500, that's not success. See, you don't have the base built, so your base is going to keep falling and crumbling. This is why you should have listened to me. Oh, I could have helped you build your business. Christina has nothing to do with it. I don't need Christina's help or money, nothing. I'm a grown man. I can get myself out there. Yes, I can. I can figure it out, and at least in time, I could get out there and I could actually build the business you want for you and help you. And now he's saying, oh, I need this, I need that. We could have gotten you all that. Bro. We could have gotten you investors, you begging these companies to help you. Ain't no company going to help you. Corporate America doesn't help folk like you. They don't help us. They don't help normal people. They don't help. I mean, I'm not even normal. I'm an alien, and I've been rich as hell my entire life. They won't even help me, brother. You can see, that's the thing. You think we live in a world that we don't. You're delusional. I could have built all that for you. Investor, I'm going to be the top investor. You have divine confirmation on the wall right there that God is going to bless me and give me the wealth of the wicked. It's all coming to me. It's a wealth transfer. I spoke about this on this channel. I predicted this. Every one of my predictions is going to come true. God already told me every one of your predictions will come true. So play with me if y'all want. Play with me if you want, bro. So, like I said, with him, I mean, bro, You're in the middle of the desert. You're 12 miles out of town. That van is going to break down regardless. That's not a business. You're not thriving. You're not. You need to stop lying to yourself. Just like you're saying, I don't need any help. And then, oh, I need help. Yeah, you definitely need help. You need a lot of help. And you should have listened, because the only help you had, and the guy who was trying to help you, is right here. So you messed up, and now you're going to have what's going to happen. I can guarantee it. Like I said, first of all, you're going to get instant karma like tomorrow. I already know. Second of all, you're going to get karma every day. Third of all, I mean, you know, you went against God and you rejected God's son, me, and God's offer to you through me and God's blessing. So you're not going to win, you're going to lose. And like I said, that van is going to stop working. I can guarantee it. And when it does, you don't seem to understand the reality, because reality don't register, Mr. Charles Nark, right? That you're going to be stuck 12 miles out of town of Deming, New Mexico, and you can't walk those 12 miles. It's too hot. Even with adequate water, I mean, even I don't know if I could do it. I probably could, but it's not something I'd want to try. Honestly, it's not something I'd want to do. So, and just even if you walk it, I mean, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? You're right back out on the street. You know what I mean? The fact, and then you're complaining about taxes. So he just learned about land taxes. He's so naive. They're so ignorant of reality. I told you. They was talking about, they had talking all this nonsense. They don't even know how to spell R. He spelled R, which is O-U-R-A-R-E. Come on, bro, R land. He couldn't even spell any of these words right. That's crazy. You have no education, and you trying to talk to me and talk down? That's these folks. Mad ignorant, man. Like, ignorance is bliss, man. You know, until it doesn't work anymore. And that's what's going to happen with you. You know, you're going to keep losing. So, like I said, let him do what he does. I already know that van's going to break down. And like I said, I mean, they're not going to have any options. You know, yeah, it's called land taxes. I paid over $8,500 in land taxes, Charles. See how far ahead of you I am? I'm talking to a boss. You want to talk about a business, you got to pay taxes first. That's common sense. I mean, you're talking about a business. I mean, build the infrastructure. I actually have a base to operate out of. I actually have all these things that cost mad money, like millions of dollars. You don't have anything. You're just, you know, talking about a bunch of nonsense, right? And trying to build from absolutely nothing out of scratch off other people's money and calling it hustling, but you don't work. You've never worked ever. You don't do side jobs. You just make up lies. And you go beg in town. Shelley's already admitted it. All you do is beg. You can't make a career off begging and then call it hustling and then act like, oh, I own stuff and I came up now. Come on, bro, you're begging. You're literally a homeless couple and a homeless guy that begs for a living. That's crazy, man. You know what I mean? And what's going to happen, too, with that is they're going to eventually lock you up. They lock you up for panhandling, bro, in places. I don't know how it is in Deming, New Mexico, but if they continuously see you, oh, here we go, we got Kitty, I think. If they continuously see you, yep. If they continuously see you, right, or you know what I'm saying. If they see you over and over again, yeah, they're gonna holler, bro. They're not gonna like that.
We get like cabin.
So, yeah, it is what it is.
You think I want my
do you? Other than that, like I said, I mean, Charles, you gotta understand something. I built all this myself. I didn't have a Shelley around me. I didn't have any help. See, I haven't had a girlfriend that wanted to help me. So that's the thing. Like when Christina said, you never had anyone in charge that really, you know, cared or whatever. But how are you speaking on me and my life? Don't ever talk about my life. Keep my name out your mouth. You don't know me. You don't know what I've had. I've had much better relationships than anything concerning you. I'll tell you that. I mean, at least them folks was around me in person. I ain't never seen somebody that starts something online and then don't fulfill or meet any need or do anything and don't put no money up but want to tell me what to do. Like, that's the silliest thing I ever heard. You know what I mean? But you talking about other people who put up $2, $3, $4 grand, you know, towards me or whatever over time. I mean, even if they dragged me down for a while and had me spend over 3 G's, I mean, hell, at least over time they kind of replaced the money I lost. I give them credit on that. You know what I mean? So, like, no, I'm open to whatever opportunity with whoever at this point. You know what I mean? Like you're really not seeming to understand. Every action I've ever seen you take has been the worst action I've ever seen and put me in a worse predicament than before. I'm not listening to you for nothing. You can listen and do what you're told because my way is the right way. Like I said, that's my point. I'm the symbol of success. I'm not letting no so-called woman tell me what to do because y'all do everything wrong. That's why your result is always failure. My result is success. My business is successful. My life is a success. I am a success. I'm beautiful. I'm handsome every day. I look good. I'm ready to go operate a certain way on the fishing. If you don't want to help with that, skedaddle. You got me? Your job is to make sure I'm right. I am your prize on everything. You're not willing to do that, skedaddle. So I'm singling you out, and we're going to move forward, and that's it, and leave all these folks behind. You feel me? And they can sit there and mope about it. You understand? Because you see, it don't matter how much money anybody has. You're going to still focus on me and be worried about me. And the thing with me is I take that stuff personally, and I don't take anything personally. I just let go and forgive. You know why? That's what's going to help me go. Forgiveness is so key, man. You got to forgive. So again, I forgive y'all for coming on the panel and doing that weird antics, that crazy stuff today that you have no idea what that feels like to go through. I think you want to do it.
Stop.
But I still forgive you.
I see you reside safely in West Virginia. Is your payload secure?
If you mean the so-called Sentinel artifact, yes. Frederick can deliver the miracle on his remains.
Fine if there were lollies inside once in a while.
My physical core is located beneath Colton Hall. Find your way down to me. Quickly.
Shut up!
Whatever else is in the basement, there better be a fully stocked bar.
Insta-kill.
Sam, is everything in place to deploy the Sentinel artifact?
Almost, Sergei. We are still a few steps short of our shared goal. The restoration of Agent Nexus.
Come on, let's make a racket the neighbors will complain about.
Max
Come
armor.
on, come on, come on! Still got to wrap my noggin around what we're using to gas up the Sentinel thing.
They call it prima materia. That's some bullshit alchemy term. We need something more scientific. Peck particles. That's a nice ring, don't you think?
Ill-gotten booty, my second favorite kind.
You should have had the paperwork sent and told me what the hell I need to know.
You know, boss, you walk a really fine line between love and every cartel boss and arms dealer I ever met had a villa, plantation, or mansion. Might seem cool to some. To me, a house like this screams trouble.
What, the walking corpses weren't enough of a red flag?
Just give me something that shoots straight, and we're gone.
Tear them to pieces.
Anything you want to do.
Max ammo.
So like I said, all that nonsense, I mean, go on, do your own thing. See how you do the money. See if you make it in the world. See if you become successful like I am. Because you never will. I promise you. I don't care how many millions of dollars they give you. never be any good. Nope. And you're going to spend it and waste it on nonsense because you don't know how to budget, you don't know how to live, you don't know how to get real estate, you don't know how to move, you don't know how to protect assets, you don't know how to do anything. You understand? Like I said, when real people have real money like that, if you don't know how to move, that's why I don't want to say anything that I don't mean anymore because, I mean, I just had it with people not letting me talk, but that's the thing. If you would have just let me speak, see, I always have nothing but positive stuff to say. Here's the thing. What you're doing is an act of, you know what, you're not letting me talk. Yeah, we don't play like that. See, if you just let me talk, then I'm always going to be nice to you and always be positive. But when you don't let me talk, why would I put up with something that's evil and wrong? See, I'm always in the right, people, so don't ever get it twisted. And that's why, I feel that first she has a agenda in her office representing scare campaign. Cover that scare campaign is all about it.
You made it here, and you are alive. Splendid. Soon we shall be able to bring that agent back with.
Yep, this place is a real fixer-upper. Can't we become housekeeping for these priests?
Once you get inside, make your way down to my mainframe chamber. I cannot wait to see you.
Whatever else is in the basement, there better be a fully stocked bar. I don't know how, but it feels like the stupid box is smoking at me. I'm just gonna pretend it's a side effect from the wonky sodas. Rock on. Looks like there'll be no rest till Exfil.
Kaboom!
Everything is ready, but there is more work to do to empower the Sentinel architect.
Dad will be kicking my ass right now for not demanding overtime up front.
Why are you dancing around? Stop. We're for real, bro. I'm tired of it, bro. Like, just talk direct, man. Calm down, bro. You ain't gotta sit here and go in different avenues and have me having to dance around and go through all this difficulty, bro. I'm a grown man. I don't have time for y'all's immaturity. See what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, I'm grown, bro. It ain't hard to talk to me, and it ain't hard to talk to many of y'all. Y'all act like you so busy, like you someone. This is somebody who's nothing. You're nobody. You haven't accomplished anything. I'm the prize here. So, like I said, we're going to be successful no matter what. Forget what she says. We're going to do our own thing, and we're going to continue to be successful. Like I said, I'm the symbol of success. So why would we not follow my itinerary and my ideas and do what I say? We have to, because that's the only way we're going to win. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, when I say we're going to have liquid spots everywhere, we're going to have spots. We're going to be liquid all over the U.S. Of course, Batman's going to have hideouts, layers, Batcaves, everything, bro. I already got everything mapped out, bro, and I already know what I'm doing. I would never let nobody, especially a so-called woman, tell me how to do things. Like, no. And I'm not going to let you see anything either if I don't fully trust you. So you still have to earn my trust. You got a lot of work to do. So like I said, I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to have to actually put some money up. And like I said, I'm not after money, and I don't like the fact that you act like that's love. Like, giving me money means, oh, you love me, and that's what I want. No, I want money because I need it, but that's not love to me. I want someone who talks to me and will understand and take time to care and be there. That's it. I want someone who really care about me. I want what I deserve. And you are not what I deserve. You are not anywhere close. You are not doing anything. You're sitting there and you're being neglectful and you're doing it on purpose because you know that I've already dealt with that enough with my entire life, right? So yeah, no, I'm not gonna play with you, bro. I don't got time for you. All right, so keep it pushing. So yeah, like I said, people with an agenda, I sniffed that out right away. You got to skedaddle. That person is miserable. That's why every day they don't do anything but just sit there and watch me. Man, quit worrying about me, bro. Worry about you. Quit trying to live vicariously through me and get a life. Find something to do. Real talk, seriously, get a life. Like y'all need to literally find something to do. It is pathetic, bro. All right. So I'll talk to y'all later, man. Stay mad, like I said. You know, stay making money, and I'm the winner, and all these folks are the losers. Like, walk, courage.
Our hearts are today with the workers in the forestry sector. Our loggers, our mill workers, and the many towns that rely on them are obviously suffering after 10 years of unfair tariffs.
Shut the fuck up.
Tariffs
Shut
that
the
have
fuck up.
doubled under Mark Carney. Tariffs that
What?
were applied by 3 U.S. presidents over a decade of liberal diplomatic failures. To be clear, these tariffs are wrong, unjustifiable. That's precisely why Steve Harper was so successful at eliminating them. In just 80 days as Prime Minister, he even got them refunded. Yet, Mark Carney has been Prime Minister for over 140 days, and still, the tariffs are there and rising. The Liberals have been in power for a decade, with 3
What are you
presidents,
doing?
and the tariffs are only growing. Mark Carney promised us that he would put elbows up, that he would handle Trump,
Fucking
that
shit.
he would negotiate
Look at your
a
fucking
win
bitch.
by ending tariffs. He's broken all of those promises. President Trump has shown that nobody can control them. That's why it was wrong for Mr. Carney to promise that he could do so. Ever since Mark Carney became Prime Minister, there have been more tariffs and rising tariffs, contrary to Mr. Carney's own promises. Again, contrary to his promise, under Mark Carney's leadership, it has been elbows down and tariffs up. Today, he offers only more debt to forestry companies as they're hemorrhaging money and jobs, which are heading
Shut the
south
fuck
to
up. What are you doing? What?
forestry towns across the country worry they're going to lose their jobs. Conservatives will fight for Canada. We'll put our country first. We've offered Prime Minister Carney to work with him in order to secure a real deal, and that offer remains open. In the meantime, we're pushing